What's up, guys? Winter Kills here, and welcome back to another post-commentary duel video. Today we've got Atlantean Mermails versus Kozmo. Me piloting the Atlanteans and my friend piloting the Kozmo there on the right side. He's going to open up with Tin Can, starting off pretty strong end phase effect. I'll put the Dog Fighter in his hand. And luckily he didn't open up any set cards, more likely to be Call the Haunteds, because with a Slip Rider and Dart Destroyer in graveyard, those are pretty good Call the Haunted targets, and he'd pretty much be able to win the game at that point. But I opened up fairly well also, opening up heavy infantry into Diva, then into Neptibus. Neptibus will send Dragoons. I'm going to add Mulan and a copy of infantry. Now he ends up foiling my Mulan play here. And I didn't see this coming. I don't think there's any way I could have played around it. He ends up, I think, at some point chaining that Tin Can to summon out a Dark Destroyer and then destroy one card on my side of the field, putting an extra water engrave. So I'll summon Megalo, discard Neptibus and Dragoons. I'll get another search. I'll get a search off Megalo, add the Mizuchi. In my opinion, I still think that is by far the best equipped spell that you can play. I don't like Cetus that much. I feel like Mizuchi is much better still at this point. And then, of course, Neptibus reviving the other Dragoons I had in the grave. At this point, I could Synchro for a whole bunch of things. I think I end up going to Tatsunoko, or I either sync for 8 for Crimson Blader. I'm not really sure what I do. Looks like I'm going to tribute off the Dragoons, get another search. I believe that's the third Dragoon search this turn. So carefully setting up a Mulan play here. We'll go Synchro for Tatsunoko, and then once I got 5 engraved, he'll summon the Dark Destroyer with a Tin Can, putting that 6 water in my grave. Now I have no choice but to make a different play and abandon the one I was about to make, so I'm going to summoning for this Megalo, discarding a Mulan and an infantry. Of course, infantry being pretty much useless in this matchup, at least in my opinion, because it does nothing against the bigger ships, so you really do have a hard time against that. And luckily I didn't play the equip spell right away, or else I would have lost that, and I probably would have lost right here. But being able to beat over the Dark Destroyer was pretty clutch. And then I do have that Crimson Blader there, basically forcing him having to summon out a Forerunner, not a Slip Rider, basically protecting my Mizuchi. If he would have summoned out a Slip Rider, I would have been able to just run it over with the Crimson Blader, stunting his next turn. Unfortunately, he does have Upstart Goblin to bait out the Mizuchi. It's one of the most things that really sucks about Mizuchi, is that if they just have the Upstart, it's basically a free out right there, regardless. However, at its best was when they have to use their, obviously their best card, their power play, at the wasted on that. He does have Good Witch. He goes to book the Crimson Blader, I believe, and then I'm going to Chalice it, so that's a very clutch card to have. And I do have the Abyss Sphere set still at this point, so I'm still in pretty good position, being able to go end phase, grab a lead or something, be able to continue plays. End phase, he'll go Tin Can, reveal Kozmo Town, Cosmojo, and a Dark Destroyer. I'm really hoping he gets the either the spell or trap. He does. He gets Cosmojo. End phase will go into Lind, and then into lead. He'll also end phase summon the Dog Fighter. So there's a whole lot going on here in the end phase. I draw the instant fusion for a turn. What a rip! Basically putting me back in the game. And with the Crimson Blader on board, it's a pretty good setup for me right now. Looking pretty decent. I'm able to stunt his next turn. Pretty much at this point guaranteed, even if I have to attack over the Forerunner, because I can drop his attack by 1,000. So I'm very strategic in how I use it. I'm going to attack over the Good Witch with the Crimson Blader, and then lead will attack over the Dog Fighter. Dog Fighter will activate its effect, and I'm saving the Hope Woven until the very last attack, just in case he wants to bring out anything really big. I still can get over it, no problem. And I'll get my Dragoon Search. He'll bring out a Wicked Witch and a Slip Rider, and next turn he's pretty much gonna have to stall, as he cannot summon any level 5 or higher monsters, normal summon or special summon, no level 5 or higher, period. So that's Crimson Blader. I do love in the extra deck, and I've been playing it in a while. Just haven't really brought it up, but I'm so glad that I was playing it at the time, because it's such a very useful card in this matchup, and is especially Monarchs as well. And I'll add an Neptibus to my hand for next turn, just to generate some advantage. And then he'll go Tin Can, end phase. Still under the effect of Crimson Blader, he had to set one, and this is pretty much his turn thanks to Crimson Blader. Dark Eclipser will get added to his hand, so it's looking pretty good. We got Neptibus coming down. I send Marksman in order to pop his set, just to get it off the field. He's going to activate it at some point either way, banishing the Hope Woven. I'll attack and do his token from the Dog Destroyer, or Dog Fighter, not Dog Destroyer. Dog Fighter, lose its token there to Crimson Blader, again putting him under that condition. And then both my monsters will attack into both of his Wicked Witches. He'll pay 1,000 both times. Strawman attempting to summon out the Dark Destroyer, and I'm reminding him that Crimson Blader is in effect for this turn, so there's not a whole lot he can do there. He can make a rank 4 play. It's pretty obscure play for Kozmo, but it's a play he can make nonetheless. He's going to go into S39 Utopia the Lightning at 5,000 attack, going to get over that Crimson Blader no problem. And Dark Eclipser being able to get over lead for 300 as well. I'm just stuck there with a little tiny Neptibus, but I do have Teus with that infantry in hand to be able to get rid of that S39 off the field, and go for a search. At 3,000 Dark Eclipsers posing a problem. However, it only does add a card to his hand, and the Strawman summons a level 3 or lower, or 2 or higher from his hand. So I have to make a weird play here. I get my search off, and then I end up Dark Holing just to clear the field, and then I summon the Turge. I was debating on, like, I could just pass at this point, because he is adding Farm. As soon as I see him add Farm Girl, I'm like, you know what, I can't do this. I need to put the pressure on so he can't just attack me with Farm Girl and win, and I need to get rid of his other stuff that ends field, like the Dark Eclipser. So I figured it may not have looked like the best play, but it was the best play in the end. He top decked the Call of the Haunted, so there's not much I can do there, which really sucked. And I had Twin Twister set just as a bluff, but it won't work, obviously, and here we are in Game 2. Game 2, I'm going to have him go first. He's going to open up with that Upstart Goblin and set a couple and summon the Farm Girl. So I've got a whole lot to deal with right here. Probably you can expect some Cosmojos, and yeah, there's one. Stopping that Neptibus, since it's not on summon, it is a once per turn effect. You can hit it before I activate it. And I'll summon a lead by discarding 3 waters, 2 infantry, and a Moulin. I figured lead on the field is much better than, you know, nothing at this point. But he called the Haunted back to Farm Girl and Cosmojos it. He summons Farm Girl. I activate Chalice. I top deck a Neptibus. On summon, he's going to chain Vanities, and then on effect activation, he is going to Scolding it. Now being the only set card he controls. We're over here, we're discussing how the chain links would work. It seemed a little confusing at the time, but made sense. And then basically, here's where he gets the win. At least helps secure it at this point. The Farm Girl will go through. He'll pay the 500 to add the Dark Destroyer and chain and battle phase to summon it out. I top deck another Neptibus. Haven't used any of my Dragoons yet, so I've still got plenty of good stuff to send in grave and deck to add to hand as well. So I'm going to add the Megalo and a copy of Marksman. Marksman will pop his set Twin Twister. And I'll discard Pike and that Marksman. I'll search the Mizuchi. He can attack twice now. Debating on what I'm going to summon back. I'm at like 800 life points at this moment. So I want to summon back the biggest Atlantean I can. I debated on summoning the Marksman, because if he did summon out something small, I could possibly get over it and get out a Neptibus or something else. Obviously not the case. Standby phase, he'll get that Dogfighter token, debating on when he wants to attack and defense. My standby phase, he'll get another token. We'll tribute off the Dragoons, get a free search. Got Deep Sea Diva, able to make somewhat of a power play here. Diva will go off. Diva goes into infantry. Now I kind of want to secure, you know, my play here, so I'm gonna go into Herald. Herald is gonna negate the dog fighter effect to summon, so I can swing in freely without him floating. Figured that was my best bet. Only if Herald acts as a macrocosmos for field as well. Unfortunately, it is only banishing things sent from main deck or hand to the graveyard, so won't get around a lot of the Kozmo stuff, but it was able to stop him right there. He does have the Good Witch to book the Megalo, get rid of the Mizuchi in order to activate the E-Tele. He needs to get that Tin Can. He'll get the Eclipser. Now, I'm not too worried about the Eclipser, but I drew into Sphere, and I was unaware of Eclipser's obscure effect where during either player's turn, it can just negate a trap card. I'll flip that Megalo back up, I'll run over the Good Witch, and I'll set the Sphere. Now he thinks he has game at this point. I'll swing in E-Tele. I'm like, okay, well, you think you have game, but I'm pretty sure you don't. Straw man for game, and he has to toss me the card. I'm like, are you serious? It actually negates trap cards. I guess it's just a blowout at that point. It doesn't really matter. So Kozmo will take the match 2-0. Hope you guys enjoyed the footage as well as the commentary. If so, let me know, or leave a like if you would like to do so. So yeah, I always have a hard time playing against Kozmo, but I felt like I made some decent plays there to counteract some of his plays, but you know, the top decks were there, and it's whatever. So yeah, thank you guys so much for watching. Leave a like if you enjoyed, like I said earlier, and if you're new here, do yourself a favor and subscribe, guys. The support is greatly appreciated. Cannot stress that enough. We are almost at 1,600 subscribers. As I'm recording this, I'm looking over on the other screen here. We're at 1,597, I believe. And that's absolutely nuts because it feels like we just hit 1,500 yesterday. So thank you guys so much for the continued support. I'm glad you guys are enjoying the content as much as you are. Really appreciate that. I have fun doing this for you guys, and I'm glad you guys enjoy it just as much as I do making it for you guys. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Winter Kill is signing out. We'll see you in the next one.